Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach and the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to share this about substance abuse, and mind you, I want to be crystal clear to leave an everlasting impact upon you. Imagine being buried alive. Let's say you're in the coffin, but you also know you're not dead. You don't know how to open the coffin and push the enormous weight of the dirt above. You think about giving up and waiting for death to arrive. But you also think about banging on a coffin so that maybe you can unsettle the ground above the lid, and maybe, just maybe, someone might notice the dirt moving and start digging their way down to help you. That is what it's like to find yourself at the lowest point of alcohol and or drug addiction. You know you need help, you know you can't do it on your own, but you don't know where and how to get the help. In reality, there are people standing by your grave that could help you, but you don't know that. You think you're just going to die today. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they're habitually abusing drugs. In order to feed an addiction, you have to be good at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, my audience, did it ever cross your mind before you started abusing drugs and alcohol that maybe, just maybe, you can overdose, lose your life, take something so precious away from your loved ones and your family? With this, I leave you with one other thought. Don't be that person in the coffin banging for someone to hear you. Call the Take Your Life Back Today show at 1-844-405-HELP and let me help you take your life back before your life is gone. Folks, there are people like Larry Geis from the Geis Academy at 516-458-2741. That's 516-458-2741. Larry Geis is an addiction recovery coach, a life coach. He can help you go from your addiction to your recovery. He, nor I, nor thousands of other addiction recovery coaches or life coaches will always concentrate on today. We will never ever talk about yesterday, because yesterday is gone. We don't want to have you have a trigger or a stressor. What we will tell you is that it doesn't matter where you've been. What matters is that you're here today talking to me or Larry at 516-458-2741 and letting us help take your life back. Larry Geis can be found on the internet at www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy, 516-458-2741. Folks, globaleyeglasses.com. They are focused on saving you money, and I am focused on helping you. If you have any questions about their website when you go on there, you can text me at 631-599-0218, and I can help you pick 1, 2, or 3 out of the 1,200 selected frames that they have. They are plastic, metal, half frames, no frames. I can help you with the lenses like progressives, transitions, photochromatics, line bifocal, no line bifocal. So many frames available. So many different lenses available at globaleyeglasses.com. Let them focus on saving you money, and I want to focus on making you see better watching my videos. Folks, go to www.globaleyeglasses.com and let them focus on saving you money. Today's subject is about judging people. We all have a tendency to cast the first stone. What we really need to do is to look in the mirror and look at ourselves. And do you like what you see when you look in the mirror? A couple of years ago, I hated what I looked in the mirror. I hated what I saw. But do you like today what you see in your mirror? And if the answer is no, think about where can you make the improvements. And do you feel good about casting stones at others, about judging others? Do you like to be judged? And if the answer is no, well then how can you judge others? Here are 10 reasons to stop judging people. Judging someone does not define who they are. It defines on who you are. Despite our best efforts, we all judge others. It might be over small things like a co-worker who took too long taking a lunch break. Or it might be over bigger issues such as a person who behaves selfishly or hurts our feelings. Psychologists frequently tell this story. Imagine you're walking through the woods and you see a small dog. It looks cute and friendly. You approach and move to pet the dog. Suddenly it snarls and tries to bite you. The dog no longer seems cute and you feel fear and possible anger. Then, as the wind blows, the leaves on the ground are carried away and you see the dog as one of its legs caught in a trap. Now you feel compassion for the dog. You know it became aggressive because it's in pain and it is suffering. What can we learn from this story? How can we become less judgmental? The bottom line is that the dog no longer seems cute and feel fear and possible anger. Then as the wind blows and the leaves on the ground are carried away, you see the dog is in distress. Well, that's what it feels like. The number one thing on the 10 reasons to stop judging other people is don't blame yourself. We are instinctively hardwired for survival. When we see a dog or a person that might bite us literally or metaphorically, of course we feel threatened. We go into the fight, flight, freeze mode and are unable to see the myriad possible reasons for another one's behavior. We get tight and defensive. This is the first normal reaction. Number 2 is we have to be mindful. Although judgment is a natural instinct, try to catch yourself before you speak or send a nasty email and do any potential harm. You can't get your words back. Pause. See if you can understand where the person may be coming from. Try to rephrase your critical internal thought into a positive one, or at least a neutral one. Number 3, depersonalize. When someone disagrees with us or somehow makes our life difficult, remember that it is typically not about us. It may be about their pain or their struggles. Why not give the benefit of the doubt? Never underestimate the pain of another person. Number 4, look for basic goodness. It takes practice as our minds naturally scan for the negative, but if we try, we can almost always find something good about another person, something positive in that person's life. Number 5 is repeat mantra, just like me. Remember, we are more alike than different. When I feel critical of someone, I try to remind myself that the other person loves their family just like I do and wants to be happy and free of suffering just like I do. Most important, that person makes a mistake just like I do and you do. Number 6, reframe. When someone does something you don't like, perhaps think of it as simply solving a problem in a different way than you would. Or maybe they have a different timetable than you do. Number 7 is look at your own behavior. Sometimes we may be judging someone for something that we do ourselves or have done in the past. For example, the next time you find yourself yelling at someone while you're driving, ask yourself, have I ever driven poorly? Of course we all have, so don't become so judgmental. Number 8, educate yourself. When people do things that are annoying, they may have a hidden disability. For example, some people with poor social skills might have Asperger's syndrome. So if someone's invading your personal space, as someone with Asperger's might be, remember again, it's not about you. It might be something that they have. They might have a thing called Asperger's syndrome. Number 9, give the person the benefit of the doubt. Someone once told me, no one wakes up in the morning and says, I think I'm going to be a jerk today. Most of us do the best we can to be with the resources that we are given to make the best of every situation. Number 10, feel good about yourself. If I feel good about my parenting, I have no interest in judging other people's choices. If I feel good about my body, I don't go around making fun of other people's weight or appearance. We're hard on each other because we are using each other as a launching pad for our own perceived deficiencies. And finally, remember that judging a person does not define who they are, but it defines on who you are. Remember the 10 reasons to stop judging. Let's just go over briefly real quick. Judging someone does not define who they are. Folks, it defines who you are. Despite our best efforts, we all judge others. It might be over small things like a coworker who took too long at a lunch break, or it might be over bigger issues such as a person who behaves selfishly or hurts other people's feelings. What we got to remember is now you feel compassion over and over again for other people, but remember this story that this psychologist wrote. Imagine you're walking through the woods and you see a small dog. Suddenly it snarls and tries to bite you. The dog no longer seems cute and you feel fear and possible anger towards that dog. Then, as the wind blows and the leaves on the ground are carried away, you see the dog has one of its legs caught in a trap. Now you feel compassion towards that dog. You know it became aggressive because it is in pain and it is suffering. What can you learn from this story? How can you be less judgmental? We all have pain and suffering, and that's why some of us have a short fuse. Number 1 under 10 reasons is don't blame yourself. We are all instinctively hardwired for survival. When we see a dog or a person that might bite us, literally or metaphorically, of course we feel threatened. We go into fight, flight, freeze mode and are unable to see the myriad possible reasons for another one's behavior. We get tight and defensive, and this is a normal first reaction. Number 2 is we have to be mindful. Although judgment is a natural instinct, try to catch yourself before you speak or send that nasty email and do potential harm. You can't get your words back. Pause. If you can understand where the person may be coming from, try to rephrase your critical internal thought into a positive one, or at least into a neutral one. Number 3 is depersonalize. When someone disagrees with us, we all somehow makes our life difficult. Remember that it's typically not about us. It's more about their pain and their own struggles. Number 4 is to look for basic goodness. This takes practice, as our minds naturally scan for the negative in other people. But if we try, we can almost always find something good about another person. Number 5 is repeat the mantra, just like me. Remember, we are more alike than different. You are just more like me than we are different. When we feel critical of someone, I try to remind myself that the other person loves their family just like I do, and wants to be happy and free of suffering just like I do. But most important, that person makes mistakes just like I and you do. Number 6 is reframe. When someone does something you don't like, perhaps think of it as simply solving a problem in a different way than you would. Or maybe they have a different timetable than you do. Everybody does things in a different way. Number 7, look at your own behavior. Sometimes we may be judging someone for something that we do ourselves or have done. For example, the next time you find yourself yelling at someone while you're driving, ask yourself this: have I ever driven poorly? And if I have, has somebody had a short fuse like I'm showing this particular driver right now? And then maybe, just maybe, you'll change. Number 8, educate yourself. When people do things that are annoying, they may be is because they have a hidden disability. For example, some people with poor social skills may have Asperger's syndrome. So if someone's invading your personal space, or someone with Asperger's might, remember again, it's not about you. They have a disability that maybe you're not aware of, but if you are aware of it, back off. Number 9, give the person the benefit of the doubt. Someone once told me no one wakes up in the morning and says, I think today I'm going to be a jerk. Most of us do the best we can with the resources that we have at the particular moment. And last but not least is feel good about yourself. If I feel good about my parenting, I have no interest in judging other people's choices. If I feel good about my body, I don't go around making fun of other people's weight or appearances. We're hard on each other because we're using each other as a launching pad for our own perceived deficiencies. And finally, remember this: that judging a person does not define who they are. It defines on who you are. Folks, let today be the first day of your new life. Let's all stop judging each other, criticizing each other, being negative about each other. Let's all unite as a family, as children of God, and join hand in hand. It is hard enough to go through life in this terrible world, especially right now that's existing, where there's so much hate, so much violence, so much crime. You look throughout the world, especially towards the Middle East, and now with some of those crimes coming to this country, and you say to yourself, your life has to be good. You have so much more than so many people in this world have. Look towards Africa. Look towards some of the Middle Eastern countries. And then look at yourself. Look in a mirror. You have a mirror. They can't even look in a mirror some of these places. You have a roof, a house, a car. You have food, you have money. More than so many people have. And if you have issues like alcohol and drug addiction, depression, low self-esteem, gambling addiction, or any other addictions or situations, don't be the person that I spoke about in the beginning of this video that's in the coffin of life, banging on the lid, hoping that someone standing by the grave might see the dirt unsettling a little and start digging their way down to help. If you cry out for help now, you won't be in that coffin alive. Cry out to people like Larry, guys, at 516-458-2741, or cry out to people like me at 844-405-HELP. And Larry and I and many other addiction and life coaches can help take your life back. But you have to let us know that you have a problem. There is no shame in coming forward, and I'm not saying to the whole world, but coming forward to someone that you can lean on. Larry and I and many other addiction and life coaches act as crutches for you to lean on. Let us be that telephone, that light pole in the middle of the road, and lean against us. Explain to us what you are experiencing. Let us come up with a game plan for a better today and a brighter tomorrow. Lead by example, folks. If you're watching me and you drink and you smoke and you use profanity in front of your children, or God forbid you use physical abuse at all, lead by example. In front of your children, don't smoke, don't use profanity, and definitely don't drink. Because what you do in front of your children is saying it's okay to do it, because your children watch you and they have a monkey see, monkey do mentality, where if they see you doing it, they think it's okay to do. So don't do any of that in front of them. You shouldn't physically abuse a person at all anyway. If you are physically abusing people, go see some counseling. Hopefully you haven't hurt somebody physically or mentally. Stop with the abusive language. Stop with the smoking and the drinking. And reclaim your life. Start thinking positive in life and you will get positive results. If you are surrounded by negative people, walk away from those people. And if they're loved ones, I'm not saying to get rid of them. I'm just saying surround yourself with positive situations and positive people. Let today be the first day of your new life. Let today be a first day that you are reaching out to someone and saying, I need help. Throw me a lifeline so I can reclaim my life. And maybe you, Ralph, can help take my life back. Be that person that says, I'm going to call Ralph right now at 844-405-HELP and let him help me. If you have any suggestions, any recommendations, you would like for me to talk about any topics, email me at Ralf, R-A-L-F, at takeyourlifebacktodayShow.com, or you can text me at 631-599-0218, and together, you and I and the rest of the world can make a difference. I hope to God, wherever you are, you have the best day of your life, but I hope and I pray each and every time I do these shows that no matter where you are, that you all have a great, sober rest of your life. And call me at 844-405-HELP and let me help take your life back, and may God bless you.